Okay, so I'm going to tackle a few more things. Let's go over to the punch list that we put together. To start, I'm going to work on winch wiring. Basically what that means is I've got to put our bumper thing that I made with our winch receiver back on the front here. It goes between the two frame rails. Then I picked up a couple of these quick disconnects. I know there's a name for them, but I just don't remember what it is. One on the front and then one back here as well. Just gotta get this wire all set. Got a nice big length of it. Man, is 2-gauge wire expensive now, but we needed it when the time comes to pull something out of the bush, out of the ditch, onto the trailer or whatnot, and we could just plug our winch in and not have to worry about questionable connections. I know that I won't even think about that expense at I'm gonna mount my connector onto here, but the problem is with our little bumper thing, it's just a little bit too shallow. I do want the plug sticking out the end. So I've just got to cut a little piece of metal and weld it onto the back. I don't know if you can see, but it just misses. So I want to make sure that it has a good seat for everything. And there we go, tab is on, plug is installed. I'm gonna get this back on the car and then I will start setting my wire up so I can run it to the back. Back on, tighten back up. Hopefully that isn't sticking out too much. If it breaks, I guess I'll just buy another one. It'd be easy to reconnect them. Now, on to the next part of the project. Getting my ends done. So I found this online. I can't take any credit for it because I had no idea what I was doing. So basically, what I saw was get your cable trimmed down, get it in here. Now, I haven't cut my cable at all, so that might make things a little bit tougher, but why? Simply because it's hard to hang it to keep it straight. Heat this guy up and then just pour the solder to it. Once it's warm, your solder should just go right in. A little bit of burnt rubber, let that cool for a bit. Trim that guy off there. We'll wrap it up later. I've let it cool down a bit. It's in there nice and tight. Obviously it's not pretty, but like I said earlier, we'll just wrap that in some tape, we'll plug it in, and then we'll start running this cable to the back of the car. Okay, so now I've got to put this guy in here. There's a little hook on the end and it hooks onto a little shelf in there. It's probably kind of hard to see. And then it makes contact with these tabs there. And then it's not going anywhere. So I'm gonna go over to the car, give this guy an install. Got the cable run along here. Flips in under the frame and runs along with all the other power cables that we've got coming under here, back up into the trunk. Now it's just a matter of cutting my excess, which I've got lots because I've got to make the one for the back and I'm waiting for a part to come in. Plus I've got to make the connection that goes out of the battery terminal too. Tab for the back connection is set up. Please ignore the mess. I made myself a nice little mounting bracket and decided to use some self-tappers to hold on to the moment and they kept breaking off. So I'll pull that off later and redo it and make things look nicer, but at least this gives it a position to work from where I can connect up the other cables and get it run into the trunk, then get my grounds hooked up, connected, grounded underneath, come along back. This guy's connected too, and it's connected up back here. Have my power run for the front and the back coming off of the battery. Everything is nice and tidy. Got to do some vacuuming in here, but this is not going anywhere, which means we can mark our first thing off the list. Next thing I have to deal with, which I've been putting off for a while because it's kind of an annoying job and I'm trying to wrap my head around it, and it's not really a difficult one, is getting the brake light switch hooked up. So one of the things that I did was I kept the bracket here when I installed the brake bracket in, But as you can see, it is very, very close to here, which means I've got my switch in, but I'm not sure how I'm going to attach it. I mean, I could weld it on, just tack it quick and see how it works. Bolting it is probably not an option because it is so tight in here, the bolt is going to rub. So I'm gonna get myself a little bit of angle iron and see what I can figure out. Made my bracket here. It's a bit of overkill, but this is the angle that I had kicking around the shop instead of running out to buy some more. Please excuse the lack of light. I cannot find my light, and my backup one is charging because it just died. I ended up putting my switch in here. I couldn't use this old push-in bracket, which I really like. It's just simple to take it in and out. So I had to use one of the little nuts that came with it because this pushed my switch back too far. It came back this way and it was making contact with some wiring here. So what I've got to do is just have it push up against there, sitting on the brake pedal. All looks good. And like I said earlier, there's no way to bolt this on, so I'm just gonna have to be very careful and tack this guy together, and then I can wire it up. Found my light. Well, I didn't find my light. Unplugged this one with a little bit of a charge on it just to get some light in here while I was doing this. Tack that guy on, not the most wonderful welds, but I'll get that cleaned up later. I just want to see that it works. And if we push, out it goes. Back in it goes. Switch is all wired up. I'm gonna clean this up a little bit later and make it look nice and tidy, but let's have a look here. We have no lights on. Take this. That should do the trick. And we have brake lights. So we're having a little bit of an issue with fuel pressure. We're not getting enough at the rail. We fiddled around and tried to see if we could get the car going and to keep it idle. Now it'll run, but it won't stay running. Did a little bit of research, read up on some forums, and I think we figured out the problem, and that is the fuel pump. After checking out a few reviews, reading what a couple other people have to say, and also people having similar problems, that particular fuel pump that we bought is a known issue. The problem that we were having was it sounds like it's sucking air. The tank has got gas in it, and I think it's just bit the dust. So we splurged. Lots of people have lots of differing opinions about pretty much every pump out there. I couldn't find one that had an across-the-board positive review, but we went for this guy. Wasn't cheap, but have a couple of friends who are running them on high horsepower vehicles, and it's working fine. We do have a fuel pressure regulator in there because this is a high PSI pump. So what I'm gonna do is strip out the old one, and then I'm gonna get this guy installed. Here is the old pump, pulled it out just a couple minutes ago. Here are the connectors that were on it for the fuel delivery system. Both of the ends are 6An. Which I guess is relatively average. That's what I was kind of recommended in doing some research before, but that all changes when we move over here. The Holly has a different throughput, a much larger AN connection. I believe that this is 8. The one thing that I do like about this one is it's got a little filter, if you can see in the end here, that came with the kit. It did not come with an input though, but I did have one of those guys and it is the same size. So it is all screwed in with an O-ring and that washer there, which leaves me to some pondering, because if we go back and we look at the system here, it is all a 6An system. So it reduces down right off of the tank and flows through and right out to the other side. I'm gonna do a little bit of reading to see if it makes much of a difference. I mean, I can get an adapter that will adapt up to the larger size, I'm sure. I mean, I did one here down to the smaller size, so it shouldn't be a big deal. Or do I have to rethink the whole fuel delivery system so that we can get the proper fuel flow and PSI going through? So now, back to the drawing board. And it's installed. Had to make a little plate here to bring the pump up a little bit so it would come better in line with these hoses. Otherwise it was on a bit of an angle. The floor, I think, kind of curves up a little bit. I've just got to get some more longer self-tappers to get this guy held down, hook this back up, and we are back in business. Look, it's even installed in the right direction. So I'm going to get that done, and then that way we can check the fuel pressure on the car again and cross our fingers that this solution works.